think we are live now.
Awesome.
Awesome. 1 second. Okay, this is interesting. Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Techies 15 Live. This is 15 minutes live podcast that we do at Immigrant Techies Network as a way of staying in touch with the community and inviting people that are building things, building networks, building solutions, building careers in the community. It's our virtual water cooler moment, if you may call it that. And at Immigrant Techies, we support newcomers as they navigate tech careers and start their own tech businesses. And we also work around international trade development, leveraging the immigrant networks for access to their home countries. So thank you so much. And I do a intro himself. Thanks for joining us. Can we meet you for a bit?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. My name is Fahad. I work for Neo Financial as part of their office of the CTO. I've been here just over 3 years, and it's been a great, diverse, and enriching experience for me, being able to lead lots of different teams, wear different hats, and also grow significantly just through my time here at Neo. Neo, for those of you who may be a little bit familiar, is a startup slash scale up that was founded here in Calgary about 5.5 years ago. And we've achieved some amazing success on the back of our amazing team and our users, which is, Canadians from all over the country using our product and loving it. And Neo was the fastest unicorn ever in Canada and in Calgary. And then the last couple of years, we've also been the fastest growing company in Calgary and the fastest growing tech company in the country as well. Prior to Neo, I spent 4 years with another startup called Corso, which is a retail software as a service company. I joined them as one of their first technical hires. Again, got to see that company grow and played a pivotal role in their growth and got to wear lots of different hats. Started there as a technical IC and then moved into more leadershipy roles before I left. And then prior to Corso, I spent 5 years in management consulting, primarily as a technical individual contributor, kind of staffed at various different projects. But I was primarily mostly in the data space as a consultant. I grew up in Pakistan and my family immigrated to Canada, specifically to Calgary in the year 2000 when I was, just about to become a teenager. So I do feel like I grew up here, but, a little bit of me grew up here and a little bit of me didn't grow up here. Went to junior high school here, got to see the city evolve quite a bit, went to university here for my bachelor's. When I finished my bachelor's, I felt like I had missed out on, some of the fun you get to have when you leave home to go to school, especially in university. And so I did my master's in the US, got a chance to work in the US, got a chance to work in England, and then came back to Calgary in 2020. And it's been night and day. Like, when I left Calgary, 2012, 2013, coming back to Calgary
Say
in
more about
2020.
that. What changes did you notice when you came back?
Yeah, I think the effort to make Calgary a lot more diversified in terms of our economy is happening and has happened. And so when I came back in 2020, I saw things like, Neo popping up, Platform Calgary, and other parts of the community thriving. And when I left Calgary in 2012, it was very much an oil and gas city where either you work for an oil and gas company or a company that works with oil and gas. And oil and gas was kind of the center. And now there definitely is a technology sector where there's business to consumer startups, there's business to business startups that are helping all sorts of people, all sorts of sectors, in the B2B space, which is
Between
creating
traditional
a lot
sectors
of excitement.
different.
Yeah, exactly. And then over the last 5 years, even, I feel like 2020 to 2025 is also very much night and day as well. Where our tech sector was 5 years ago was very much in the infancy of their stages, and now it's much more robust and much more thriving.
Yeah, and it's great to see. I mean, it's one of the it's actually one of the reasons we founded this organization, that as a way to show newcomers that there is more to Calgary and other economy than oil and gas and maybe healthcare. Because when newcomers will come in, those were the two sectors they typically would look into getting into. And wanted to just show people that there are options, there are ways to grow your dream, and there are opportunities that, for diversified economy. And yeah, so it's great to see you, to hear your perspective from someone that was in Calgary, left and came back, and can tell how much more energetic it is.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to get better, from I would say from 2022 till maybe late last year, the tech sector globally was definitely not growing as fast as it was, prior to that. But now, through the boom that we're seeing with AI companies, obviously things are not as good as they can be, like from a job hunter perspective. There's still some uncertainty, and the sector isn't as booming kind of all over the place, but it's only going to get better. AI is causing a lot more excitement with investors, with new companies starting. It's also making it a lot easier to start companies and even pivot into tech roles. It's making experienced developers really efficient and much more kind of customer centric and business centric in terms of what they can deliver and how quickly they can deliver it. AI.
Like what you said, it's making experienced developers more effective. So how
Yeah.
about the junior ones? How about the upcoming ones?
Yeah, I think for junior developers, I would strongly recommend leaning into AI. Like, don't look at AI just as a tool you can use, but when you're junior, when you're in school, and when you're early in your career, like you should be learning really fast and be open to learning new things, and not just using Cursor and not just using Claude, but spend some time figuring out and learning how Claude works and how Cursor works and how it was built. Learn about RAG, learn about LLMs. Dig, go deeper if you are earlier in your career, and get to know AI under the hood and not just as a user. I think that's the huge opportunity for some of the young folks to do that. And then the second thing is AI does make it faster for us to do POCs. It does make it faster for us to build MVPs. You still need a lot of technical knowledge to get those things production ready. And so the core fundamental concepts of testing, debugging, making sure things are robust, scalable, reliable, secure, really well is never going to go away. It is true that AI makes things a lot faster when it comes to like getting your version 1 done. But that should allow a lot of our younger generation to get more customer centric, more entrepreneurial, because now you don't have to wait 4, 5, 6 months or to have a specialist friend in networking or a certain part of a software development to build something exciting and show it to your friends, show it to your family, show it to people that work at businesses, and maybe you can make something really quickly that's super valuable, and then use your expertise to get it production ready.
So because you lead the technology side, and I suppose you do a lot of hiring as well. So
Yeah.
what would make an entry level, a fresh graduate, or a newcomer that has not done anything in Canada, what would make them stand out in software developer roles? Because
Yeah.
I mean, we know that there are less open junior roles these days, and someone has gone to school to study being a software developer. So even if they are upskilling, it's a lifelong thing.
Yeah.
So today, what can they do today?
For us at Neo, something that we really value is folks that can demonstrate a lot of ownership and impact. And so what I mean by that, what I mean by ownership is, is the person demonstrating that they're going a little bit above and beyond kind of what was asked of them to do on a team or on a project? Are they okay? Kind of blurring the lines of like their specific role, but taking ownership over the outcome, taking ownership over making sure what they're doing is successful, really high quality, really good for the customer that they're serving or the need that they're serving. And then the other thing is focusing on the impact of what you delivered. And so I see a lot, like Neo is one of those companies where there are less companies right now investing in junior talent, but this year we've hired 25 juniors multiple times, through several different hiring pushes, and we hope to continue to do that as the company grows. Next year, junior intermediate talent adds a lot of life and excitement to the company. And it's
Mm-hmm.
something we value quite a bit. And so we are going to continue to do that. Something I see a lot on resumes is, or how a junior will present themselves is they'll talk a lot about what they've done and what they've used, and not as much about what happened afterwards.
Right.
So what I mean by that is they'll say, hey, I worked on a project where we used this LLM and this technology and this language, and we used this library from React to build X, and we got it done. And there's less of a focus on talking about what happened after. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you were building a productivity app for a project, or some kind of website for a business, what was the goal of that? What was the goal of your productivity app? Did you use it afterwards? Did your friends use
Mm-hmm.
it? Did
Mm-hmm.
you convince your family to use it? Did it make you more productive? Did you find bugs? Did you find issues? And were you able to incorporate them into a new version? And so obviously still explaining the tech, because this is a technical field, a technical role, but also talking about what happened after. And
Mm-hmm.
folks that are doing highly technical things like maybe refactoring stuff or upgrading libraries, or really under the hood technical stuff, what was the goal of that project? Was it to increase latency? Was it to increase performance of a website or an application? And by migrating something from an old piece of technology over to Node.js, or TypeScript,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, did you achieve that? And what role did you play in achieving that? And so I would recommend everyone to think about not just displaying or presenting what you've done from a technical perspective, and how
Mm-hmm.
you got the stuff done, but also what was the impact of what you delivered.
Of that. And we're also seeing trends where job openings, they want a developer that has a product manager lens, that can do light design. So are you seeing that too? Is that a plus? Is that a plus when you're coming in as as a technical asset, but you're also coming in with the aspect of the customer facing research and all of that. So are we going that way?
Yeah, I would say 100%. We're already there in other markets. And so if you
Mm-hmm.
look at markets like Waterloo or San Francisco, like some of the best technical markets, they have a founder mindset. Those developers have a mindset, of the folks that go from top schools to YC, or a top school like Waterloo into an incubator. They have a mindset of business problems or consumer problems, and they're also technically capable enough to actually build a software that they might imagine their first set of users might use to solve that set problem. Um,
Mm-hmm.
DoorDash is a great example of this. It was 5 or 6 students in San Francisco. They saw a problem with their favorite restaurants not being able to deliver some of their favorite things, and so they ended up building software to be able to solve that problem for them, which ended up becoming this really amazing company called DoorDash. And I think the more customer centric we are, the more we can add a product mindedness, or a design
Mm-hmm.
mindedness
Mm-hmm.
to our
Mm-hmm.
technical skills. The more stories like that we're going to have in Calgary, of more things happening in Calgary that turn into unicorns or turn into $100 million businesses, which it seems really far-fetched. It seems really crazy to think when you're
Right, right.
22, 23-year-old, but it is possible. It's possible in other markets, and it is going to be possible here.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of careers, it sounded like the way you define your job function just needs to shift. The silos we have about this is what this title does, and it does not mesh with what that title does. We have to start rethinking that because it's about the job title is.
Yeah, absolutely. And like software engineers of any kind are very uniquely skilled in that they're so valuable to a company, and they're so valuable to the world in general, because it's a rare ability to be able to kind of think about design, think about the problem, think of the product you want to build, but also have the skills to be able to build it, or have friends or have people in your network that can help you kind of accomplish that as well. And that's an incredibly powerful foundation. I know sometimes it may not feel like it, because the job market is very tough right now. It's a little less tough than it was maybe 6 months ago, and things are getting better. We are seeing other companies, not just Neo. We are hearing of other leaders starting to invest more into hiring more junior talent, and hopefully that trend continues.
Yeah, because we're
Um,
gonna run into problem if we stop uh, hiring junior talent and making the job of seniors better. Because at some point, there'll be nothing in the bottom of that funnel, and we're not into trouble. So we're hoping to see more organizations invest in junior talent.
Yeah, 100%. Like um, things like AI, things like advances in any advances of any kind in this profession are a lot like when the calculator was invented for accountants. A calculator does not replace an accountant. It does give an accountant a lot more horsepower. And then when computers came around and things like Excel and Excel modeling, and you could get very complicated with what you can do in the accounting space, it supercharged accountants. It didn't outright replace accountants. And I think that's what's going to happen with software as well. Like a lot of these tools give us a lot more horsepower to focus on the problem, to focus on user centricity, but it doesn't necessarily replace the need of an engineer.
So, yeah, I knew we'll run out of time so fast.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about your diverse experiences and how that has shaped your leadership. The fact that you've worked in different geographical areas, you've worked in different types of organizations, and so if you can just say that in a quick, like 1 minute or
Sure.
less, to say
Yeah,
how has that, yeah.
Yeah, I think especially in Canada, in the world today, like I value a ton, and very grateful that I've had a chance to lead in different areas of the world, different types of people, because I think a great leader is someone that can kind of meet your team where they're at, and adapt your leadership style, adapt your empathy, adapt your kind of way to lead to what's going to resonate and work for that team member, in line in what the company needs, versus having a singular leadership style and only be able to apply it in maybe one industry or one type of team. I think that limits you as a leader. And so I'm very grateful of Neo to help me in kind of growing that. And what I mean by that is I've had a chance to lead people from Canada, people that have immigrated here, people that have immigrated here specifically for Neo. Has allowed me to kind of develop that skill set, and also being able to lead back-end teams, front-end teams, data team has also allowed me to see kind of what the difference is in different contexts, and then what's kind of needed to lead effectively in those different domains.
Yeah, awesome. We always tell people to be open to different types of experiences because you never know what you're picking up from there, even if it's not technical skills, right? Well, thank you so much, Fahad, for joining us. Thanks for everyone that's watching and those who will watch later. And I'm sure Fahad can, if people want to reach out,
Yeah,
how?
reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to share my profile wherever we post this. Yeah, always happy to chat over LinkedIn, or if you ever see me at an event, hopefully I come across approachable. Even if I don't, I am approachable. Come say hi. It's never a bad time or a bad thing to come say hi.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And if you have questions, you can drop them in that same chat for the event and tag Fahad, and I'm sure he'll be happy to respond.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your lunch hour.
Bye.
Bye.